Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, so I'm here kind of looking at my family tree. Okay, it's not really my family tree, but I got this email from my buddy Phil Wagner, and he pointed out an article to me that shows that Julia Roberts is not really a Roberts. She had some DNA thing done that was part of a show, and it turns out her great-great-grandfather, Willis Roberts, is not really her great-great-grandfather. Looks like she's instead part of the Mitchell clan. Interesting things that DNA discovers about your heritage. And I found it pretty interesting, and so did Phil, because Phil pointed out that as people who walk with God, we have a whole different perspective on this. We become people who are not worried about our genealogy in the sense of where our DNA is, because we're actually related to the King. The Apostle Paul says we're adopted as children into the kingdom of heaven, but the whole concept goes back a lot further than that. You can go back and find, as I referenced in the class I taught, by the way, a link to that, I'm sure Janet will put below, or Brent, but the class I taught yesterday from the Old Testament prophet Hosea, in Hosea Chapter 11, had this really touching set of passages about God saying of Israel, when Israel was young, how I loved him, and I called him out of Egypt to be my son, and it was I who taught him how to walk. It's this whole concept that God seeks to have a relationship with us where he is our father and we are his children. And so when we start thinking about your family tree and what it is or what it isn't, we've got certainly an earthly lineage that we can follow. And I'm thankful for mine. But we should never lose track of the fact that we've got a divine lineage when we follow God. When God is our Father, we are his children. And that radically changes everything. Because if you think about it, what does it mean that you're a child of the King of Kings, of the Lord of Lords? You're not someone who needs to be worried about what's going to come tomorrow because of who your father is. You're not someone who has to worry about getting beat up by the enemy because of who your father is. So one of the benefits of realizing you're a child of the King is all of the benefits that flow from being a child of the King. But it's not just one side of a coin. There's another side to the coin as well. What are the responsibilities? Because what we do and how we behave and how we act now reflects back on our Father. Oh, I get so chapped when I see these stories in the media about Christians who behave in the most unchristian way possible. I had lunch yesterday with a phenomenal fellow. His name is Dr. Smith, and he is at Beeson Divinity School or Seminary. He is African American, 71, 72 years old. He was born in 49, and he grew up in Cincinnati. And he told me about the first Christian school that he went to after high school, and that this was a Christian school where he was when Martin Luther King was dead, and today's Martin Luther King Day. And when Martin Luther King was murdered, there were a set of supposed Christians who started singing and rejoicing that Martin Luther King was dead. And I'm just like, where do those people get the label Christian? I don't understand sometimes why some people wear that label. we're reflecting on God our Father. And I assure you, God our Father was not rejoicing over the fact that someone killed and murdered and assassinated Martin Luther King. So we've got two sides to the coin here. As children of the King, we've got the benefits of being the King's kids, but we've also got the responsibilities. And I want to think through that, because that is my video thought for the day.